we go on a Wednesday edition. Mr. Relevant, I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. JOSHY DiMaggio is here. Will Sommers is here. Hunter Vaughn is back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison on this lovely hump day. We will get into what's wrong with calling it hump day. Why do you always have an issue with how I start the show?
I mean, what is this, 2009? Hump day!
Hump day! I forgot about that. Doug. I forgot about that commercial.
Even then, it wasn't cool.
No, so the 78-year-old woman who runs our front desk at the offices we work at, every Wednesday when I walk in, she says, it's hump day, halfway there. So I think it was just fresh on my mind, frankly. Fair explanation?
No.
Okay.
Don't have to repeat things you hear.
No, you don't have to.
In fact, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I definitely don't repeat things that you guys say to me. Burn.
It's probably good. I like my original thoughts to come from my mouth.
You're snippy today.
I'm just saying.
How you doing? You
Still
good?
lashing
I'm
out
doing
about
good.
the Bears.
Yeah. He might
Not.
still be in lash out mode.
I'm fine.
What did you call the beginning of that win streak? The gateway game? Is it another gateway game this Sunday? Who the Bears even play this week?
The Bengals.
Oh, gateway game.
Yeah. Joe Flacco might not play, too.
He
So
sure might not.
it's a must-win.
Is it? We're already in
It's
must-win
it's a
territory for
have
the
to
Bears?
win. You have to win. If you want any chance at
Okay, follow
being
up.
an 8-9 win team, you have to win
I have a
this.
follow-up question. What's the difference between a have-to-win and a must-win?
A must-win is when you are on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs. Like, you must win that game to stay in playoff contention. This is a have-to-win where you have to win to prove yourself to be not as bad as people think you are.
Actually, a really good explanation on that. Well done.
What'd you expect?
I was expecting you to blur the lines much more between must and have to win.
See, the difference between me and you is I've been in more of these have-to-win, must-win situations.
That's true. I'm spoiled rotten.
He's a veteran of the have-to-win game.
You basically just asked me what my name was.
I've been in a few must-wins. That's about it. Not a lot of have-to-wins.
There's a couple must-wins with the Brewers the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and those didn't go super
No.
well. I guess the one against the Cubs went fine, but the other couple did not against the Dodgers. And
There's a couple must-wins and a couple please lose.
I'm just throwing this out there. Since the last time the four of us talked, there was an 18-inning baseball game played.
Yeah.
And then another 9-inning baseball game played yesterday. Series is tied, though. Blue Jays bounced back yesterday in a quick one in comparison to the 18-inning game that the Dodgers won. But entertaining World Series so far. Are you guys watching? Like, I know a lot of Brewers fans are. Usually they'll check out, especially if it's heartbreaking fashion, which I it's not massively heartbreaking, like maybe in comparison to the Mets. It was game 3. You have a late lead. It was a clean sweep in the NLCS, but you're heartbroken because that was such a fun season. You had higher expectations. JOSHY, have you watched the World Series at all?
No.
Not a single pitch.
No.
You've been missing out. I won't lie.
It has been good baseball, but I mean, I get it though. I would imagine it's kind of what I just alluded to, which is like the Brewers fan of your team's out, on to football season.
Yeah, I'm
Type
locked
thing.
in on football.
And we'll get to football in a minute.
I don't got the bandwidth. And there's a little frustration, disappointment.
You don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
All right, so college basketball starts on Monday.
Yeah.
When do you start paying attention to that? February?
Yeah.
And then NBA, same thing, February-ish?
I'll keep track of and tune in to my teams,
Okay.
college basketball and NBA,
Who are your teams in college basketball?
Wisconsin, and the Bucks, obviously. But I won't be as locked in as, say, I am on the Packers.
Got it.
It's more of secondary knowledge and attention.
Got it. Okay. Hunter, have you been watching the World Series?
No, and it's more just because when the World Series has been on, like I've had other work stuff where I'm just like,
The hell are you doing at 1 a.m.?
Well, obviously I'm not
Sleeping?
staying, but like, yeah, then I'm sleeping because I was working until like 9 p.m. So I'm like, I don't want to go home and like sit through the rest of this game. I'll get the recap on Twitter and I'll be fine.
Dude, Monday night was the best.
It was awesome.
It was the best. I'm not calling you a liar, by the way, but I did text you in the 18th inning and you didn't respond till 7 a.m.
It's because I was in my bed, half asleep, because I got a text from somebody that I might need to wake up at 5 in the morning to work his shift because he might be feeling under the weather, hypothetically.
That was me.
You sick?
No, I just I felt like I had a little bit of a stomach bug. I felt like sort of nauseous all day,
Oh no.
and I
Feeling better though?
woke up fine.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it was. There's limited people around here, especially with the paternity leave.
Yeah.
So I had to over communicate and be extra cautious because when you wake up at 4 a.m. and get to work by 5, most people aren't awake yet. So
That's true.
You have to sort of send out
the bat signal ahead of time.
Yeah.
So
I was in bed just like pre-firing going to bed, basically. So I was just ready.
In this hypothetical that Josh would have been out, you would have fallen asleep at 2
2,
because that game ended at 1:56 Central.
probably 2:15. It takes me a little while
Okay.
to calm down, especially after that.
Dude, that was, but just did real quick because I haven't really talked to anybody about this game on Monday night, and obviously there's been another game since. But a couple quick takeaways is number one, playoff baseball is the best. The dramatics are unbelievable. It's hard to replicate the dramatics of playoff baseball.
I don't even think we'd be saying this if the Blue Jays didn't bounce back after losing an 18-inning game the
Right.
night before and come back and just shove it
This
right back
this
to
is
the
honestly
Dodgers.
this is honestly game 4 aside, right? Like it's just the dramatics of playoff baseball are unbelievable. And when you have an 18-inning game, which is ridiculous, and I almost went, I was going to call it after the 18th. But
Once it was like the 13th, I was like, I can't go to bed now.
my girlfriend called it at the 14th, about 12:30. The dog called it in about the 11th. Dog was out, so it was just me.
Thanks for the update on your dog and girlfriend.
Well, okay, sorry.
Your
I
dog,
guess.
your dog doesn't sleep like starting at like 7.
No, because I don't get home until 6. So she wakes up then, and then we go on a WALK, and then I guess I don't need to spell it here, do I?
No.
I'm kind of a dog, so maybe you do.
Anyway, the Packers are 5-1-1.
They are. Shohei's the best player in the world ever.
Vlad is so awesome too.
But Shohei might be the best athlete we've ever seen. Period.
I don't know if it's a might be situation.
Like, but I'm thinking Tiger Woods was dominant at his peak. Michael Phelps in the Olympics. Like, that is the level at which I consider Shohei Ohtani now.
I said this the other day. The way like my dad talked to me about Michael Jordan, I'm going to be able to talk to the next generation about Shohei Ohtani.
Why didn't you just say, I'm going to be able to talk to my kids?
Nothing's guaranteed.
Love that.
Dude, he's on one today. Will's got his fastball.
Yeah.
Unlike Shohei and
I always do
Game
have my
4.
fastball. It's just whether or not it's going to be a strike.
Fair point.
You're like the Miz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's also kind of a dog.
Objectively a dog.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. There's your World Series talk. 2-2 series, game 5 tonight. 5-1-1 is the Green Bay Packers record after 7 games, after 8 weeks of the NFL season. Obviously, they had their bye week early on, but enter week 9 as they will host the Carolina Panthers Sunday at Lambeau Field with a 5-1-1 record. It's the best in the NFC. They lead the NFC North, and they look like one of the teams that can truly do it, to steal a line from Scott Van Pelt. I'm really impressed with the way they've bounced back from 2 underwhelming games back to back, in the Browns loss and the Cowboys tie. Obviously, now they've won 3 in a row. They look like a team that is starting to form their identity, and that's I've talked about this many times before, but it's such a buzzword in sports that I don't really like, but I do think it's real. A team's identity, right? I think we probably overreact to what's the team's identity. Dude, you know what championship teams do? They just win, right? Their identity is they just win. They find ways to win. They're scrappy teams that win. Those are identities of championship teams. So I think we probably overuse the word identity when we talk about sports teams. But the reason I want to use it today is because I said last week, entering this game against Pittsburgh, I'm struggling to figure out what the Green Bay Packers are. And while one game isn't going to fully change my perspective on what the Packers are through 7 games, it did give me a little bit of hope that Matt LaFleur is starting to understand what the strong suits of this team are and find ways to elevate them to that championship level that you ultimately expect and crave. When you make a trade for Micah Parsons entering the season, that is a signal of, hey, we're not here to just compete. We are here to win a championship, right? It's not, we don't want to be a 7 seed anymore. We're not a wild card team. We're not a fun story anymore. We're a team that's legitimately in it to win it. And that's why Sunday was an encouraging sign for me, because second half they looked dominant. They looked like they were playing a different sport than the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half. Jordan Love looked like, and we'll talk about this in a minute, Jordan Love looked like he could win the MVP. He looked like that second half of 2023 version of Jordan Love that we have kind of come to expect to see now. So a lot of good things happening. Obviously, the defense has been playing well. They haven't been allowing too many points, yada, yada. All in all, I think this team, through 7 games, is starting to show us its true colors, and that it could be a really good team. It's going to be a pass-first offense rather than a run-first offense like they were a year ago. The defense has the ability to get after the quarterback. They are one of 2 teams with 2 guys in the top 10 in the league for sacks, and Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons. There's still some concerns in the back end of the defense, but all in all, it's a good defense. So I think this team is starting to show what they really are through 7 games, which is an encouraging sign as we enter the month of November, Joshy.
Yeah, I mean, the team's identity to me is one that probably is best suited being aggressive, getting out to leads, and letting their defensive line and edge rusher specifically really get after the quarterback. I think when you're put in a situation where teams feel comfortable and like they are in the game, that's where things start to spiral out of control on them. I think the fact of like the dink and dunk offense stuff, we watched Aaron Rodgers try to keep doing that in the second half of that game, and it just fell apart. So jumping out to a lead, being aggressive, and focusing on the passing game. And to be frank, the guys in the passing game like Tucker Kraft, who are yak monsters, is sort of the path I see. I know Matt LaFleur is going to continue to try and run the ball, and I understand the uses of the running game and how it's going to be necessary at certain points of the season. But it to me, playing ahead for them and being aggressive and really opening up the passing game and letting Jordan Love and taking off the training wheels for him. I've doubted whether Matt LaFleur actually believed in him enough to do it. I think he was forced into a situation in the second half of that game where he had to just sort of throw his hands up and say, well, Jordan's going to do it or he's not. And Jordan met that moment, and I think he has for large parts in the season, save for like one really bad pass that I'm sure he would want back. But the way the defense functions, and they play aggressive and they play downhill, and it's gangs of people tackling the ball carrier, that is when they are feeling themselves and they're not worried about what's going on behind them because they can just go into attack mode. As we've seen every time they have a lead, the team they're facing goes down and scores a garbage time touchdown like every time. And some of that's when starters are even on the field. Like there's clearly an attitude shift, and I think we've seen it throughout the course of many games where it's like, why was it so easy for them to move the ball when this previous 6 drives they had like 12 yards? Right. And you're like, what's happening here? And it's not always in garbage time that they're doing it. It's just like randomly it'll happen, and I think that's when they take their foot off the gas.
Yeah. And hopefully they've gone away from that a little bit. Like the Pittsburgh only had that ridiculous Roman Wilson touchdown in the second half.
Right.
Where Carrington Valentine, again, I was impressed by the pass breakup that ultimately wasn't a pass breakup by him in the end zone on that. So, sure, it seems like that's gotten a little bit better, but granted, they haven't played terrific offenses the last 2 weeks in Cincinnati, Arizona, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh probably the best of those 3, at least in this state. So we'll see. Carolina, we'll see what they are this week. We don't know if it's going to be Bryce Young or Andy Dalton, but obviously,
don't think it matters a lot.
I think everybody at this point, and I'm not looking ahead because I'm not on the team, I am looking ahead. I'm not on the team.
We can do that.
I can do that. Players cannot. November 10th is the big test, right? That's when Philadelphia comes to Lambeau Field for Monday Night Football. That's the big test, and that feels like a big time game where we'll get a better answer on exactly what the Packers are and where they match up, where they stand up against another team that's considered a true contender in the NFC. Hunter, sounded like you want to jump in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, because Josh, you mentioned a couple of times the idea of this team being a team that plays ahead because of what that does, obviously, with having Micah Parsons and this defensive line. Are you concerned, though, about where the offense is right now if they don't get ahead early? And then this is an offense where they have to play from behind and being able to get back. Because I know that's just not something we've necessarily really seen from them this year, but how do you feel about that? Because that's the concern if you're a team that's built to be ahead in a lot of your games.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think playing from behind is always more challenging. I also think I have doubts right now just on how much Matt LaFleur would continue to, because as I've talked about throughout the course of the season, he oscillates between aggressiveness and conservativeness, and you really can't pin down why, when, or the reason for that happening. So I would much prefer them to play from ahead. But when you start looking at how that wide receiver room and Tucker Kraft are sort of turning into or shaping into what they're going to be for the season, now that we're basically halfway there, you see that with Christian Watson and Jayden Reed eventually coming back and the belief in Tucker Kraft from everyone, that those guys are good enough to do all you need. Teams like the past when the receiver room wasn't as deep as it is or wasn't as experienced as it is, then I had serious concerns. And I think those are going away because there's a lot more veterans playing with veteran experience than there were in the past. Like last year's team, they couldn't play from behind. They were not good at that. Yeah. They had to run the ball, they had to get ahead, and then they had to bleed you out on the clock. Whereas I think this team, they lead the NFL in explosive passing plays. I don't think that's necessarily because they're ahead. I think that's because they're really good at throwing the ball.
I think that's a really good point by Joshy there, because last year I think I probably stressed this so much that Josh got sick of hearing me say it, and everybody I work with on Green Bay Game Day got sick of hearing me say it. But I was stressing all season long how important a fast start was. Right, they needed to get out they needed a 3 or 7 on the first drive of the game, or else that game was in jeopardy. To Joshy's point, and I don't really feel that way this year. If they go down 3-0 or 7-0, even 10-0 in some spots we've seen, I'm not sitting there super nervous about the result. Now, if you do that against, say, Philadelphia or a Detroit, that might be where you get into some trouble. But if you go down 3-0 to Pittsburgh like they did, or if you go down 7-0 to, say, Carolina this weekend, that doesn't really worry me this year, because I think this team and this offense, despite Jacobs not being as productive as he was a year ago, minus the touchdowns, he's a touchdown machine, but in terms of yards per rush and rushing yards, he's not as productive as he was a year ago. It really doesn't worry me. I trust Jordan Love and what he's done this year. I trust those weapons around him, that some of them have taken the step. Obviously, Tucker Kraft is on another level. It's good to have Christian Watson back. Romeo Doubs will reliable. And hopefully Matthew Golden can get in the mix more here as the season continues to progress. But all in all, I think you have to feel really good about what this offense is capable of, and a whole, especially early, doesn't feel detrimental like it did a year ago.
I don't know if we're ready to pivot to the next conversation, but we didn't mention it yet as part of this one. I think my trust with Jordan Love is at an all-time high. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a clunker here or there, but his ability to protect the ball, he has one of the best turnover-worthy throw rates in all the NFL, where he's really not putting the ball at jeopardy. There are throws people can still question, but I believe his turnover-worthy play rate is like 2.6. So 3 times out of 100 throws, which sometimes with Matt LaFleur is over the course of 3.5 games. Right. But he's like really not putting the ball at risk like I felt he had in the previous 2 years. Even in that 8-game stretch in 2023, I thought there was some good luck that went into his high level of play.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think we'll jump into the next topic in a second, but I think just quickly on that point is we did beat up on him quite a bit for the interception in the Cleveland game. And again, I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
He had an interception in that Dallas game, and I think we beat up on him. And again, I think rightfully so. Those were poorly timed mistakes that led to points. He's done this in the past, too. He did it last year against Philadelphia, where he threw 3 interceptions in the wild card game. He did it in the divisional round the year prior against San Francisco, poorly timed interceptions that ultimately leads to a loss or a tie in the case of the Dallas game. But all in all, I think he's throwing the football consistently the best he has in his career, and that includes that 8-game stretch in 2023. Obviously, we've never seen him complete 20 passes in a row like he did on Sunday, so that kind of comes with the territory of how accurately and how well he is throwing the football. But I would agree with you 100%, Joshy. My confidence level with Jordan Love is at an all-time high. I think he's playing the best football he has coming off of that Sunday night game. And there will be some of the doubters and some of the haters and some of the non-believers when it comes to Jordan Love that say, oh, well, he played the worst pass defense in the league. Yes, he did. But he did what a good quarterback should do against the worst pass defense in the league, and that is simply torch them. And that's what he did. 350-plus yards, couple of touchdowns, no interceptions, a terrific completion percentage. He looked the part again on Sunday. And I think we could probably get to a point, and hopefully we do get to a point by the end of the season where we stop saying he looks the part and we just accept that he is the part because he's paid like that and he is starting to play consistently like that. So all in that point, let's talk about the MVP race. I saw Joshy tweeted about it earlier today where the NFL put out a graphic with 4 MVP candidates on it. It was Patrick Mahomes and Drake May and Josh Allen and Jonathan Taylor, all 4 of which are rightfully MVP frontrunners at this point in the season. The issue I have with this graphic is, number one, well, unfortunately, it's a quarterback award. As much as I'd like to make the case for the Wisconsin alum, Jonathan Taylor.
We love you, JT, but the Opoi is more your game. Offensive player of the year.
Yeah, and he very well might win that. And
seems like he's going to coast to that.
Yeah, he probably will, like Saquon did a year ago. Jonathan Taylor's having a terrific year. Josh Allen's been good. I don't know if he's been MVP Josh Allen level yet this season. Patrick Mahomes seemingly coming into MVP form, and that Chiefs team once again coming into championship form. Drake May, terrific story for a second-year quarterback, has the Patriots in first place of the AFC East. But will it last? That's the question I'm wondering. I think he's totally a franchise quarterback. I think he looks like he's one of the future faces of this league. But am I ready to don the MVP convo on Drake May? I don't know if I'm quite there yet, despite as impressive as he's been through 8 weeks. Now, Jordan Love has some slip-ups, and he's had some games this year. I'm not doubting that. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I think through 8 weeks and 7 games for the Green Bay Packers, it's legitimately time to start having the conversation that Jordan Love is in the MVP conversation. He wins Offensive Player of the Week this past week, NFC Offensive Player of the Week for Jordan Love. First time he's won that award since Week 18 of 2023. And he's going to have several more opportunities on national stages to prove that he is a really good quarterback. And that's what's exciting about the upcoming schedule for Green Bay. With the Philadelphia date on Monday Night Football in a couple of weeks, as I just mentioned, that's a national spotlight. Everybody in the country has their eyes on you. What do you do in that spot like he did on Sunday against the Steelers? Hey, Thanksgiving. We all love turkey, mashed potatoes, old fashions, and hanging out with our family. You know what else we really love? Watching football at 11 a.m. And that's when Jordan Love takes on the Lions, who look like they are, again, a Super Bowl contender, another national game for him where a lot of eyes are going to be on him. He's got a couple opportunities coming up in the month of November where if he plays really well, I think he catapults himself into the front of the MVP conversation alongside likely Mahomes, who I have a hard time believing that Chiefs team slows down anytime soon. But when you look at all the numbers, you look at quarterback rating, you look at passing yards, you look at touchdowns, you look at touchdown interception ratio, Jordan Love's in the conversation. He's top 10 in all of those. So, yeah, I think it's time to start saying legitimately Jordan Love is in the MVP conversation entering the month of November.
I didn't know if you're finished with your statement there.
That was more a soliloquy, wouldn't you argue?
Yeah.
But a soliloquy implies that the person on the other end isn't interested in hearing that. I think you were interested in hearing that.
Half a cup. The thing that's interesting to me about, and Jordan Love is by the betting markets, is distant to those guys you named.
Now, real quick.
Except for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Also, those odds have moved at Potawatomi.
Yeah.
He was plus 2,000 yesterday. He's plus 1,500 today. Yes. Which is interesting, a movement from Tuesday to Wednesday, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I would think that probably has something to do with bets being taken in on it and sort of just the market correcting from a full wake of games. What I do think, and I think is largely a factor here, is football is still the most antiquated sports when it comes to their awards and who receives them. For a long time in the MLB, people were arguing that the Cy Young should be the guy with the most wins. We have moved past that. They were arguing guys with like the highest averages or the most home runs should be the guys winning the MVP, and that has changed. I think hockey and basketball have also sort of taken that route where they use more of the advanced metrics. And the NFL right now, wins matter a lot. Winning your division, finishing top 2 in your conference, and then just simply counting stats. So gaudy passing yardage totals, gaudy passing touchdown numbers really matter. And the thing is, with Jordan Love, if you look at all of the advanced stuff, be it EPA per play or total EPA or things that account for just how efficient, just how good they are, or just how many more wins this person would bring against the average player, Jordan Love is near the tops in all of those and deserving of being in this conversation. The fact is, right now, football writers aren't going to address that. Passing touchdowns are important. Scoring the football, very important. Every single year, Patrick Mahomes is going to have like 10 to 12 passing touchdowns that are a jet sweep, pop pass, shovel pass, which is totally play design dependent. It is essentially a run, but they are just, because the ball is moving forward from the quarterback's hands, it counts as a pass. The Packers simply don't do that. Yeah. They do on occasion, but Josh Jacobs has a ton of rushing touchdowns because of that. Also, there's teams that can benefit from just being simply more aggressive and simply running up the score. Andy Reid famously loves to put every single point on you he can. That is just a way he's always coached. So a lot of that stuff gets lost in the conversation when at the end of the year you look at a team's record and then you look at their counting stats and you go, well, this guy was clearly the best. And it's like, well, is that actually accurate? Because some of the guys up there with high passing yardage totals are on teams that have like 6 wins because they Matthew Stafford built a Hall of Fame career on counting stats. Now he added the Super Bowl after it, but when you look at him and in comparison to the other guys around him, it's unbelievable. And it's unbelievable because his team was losing all the time.
Yep.
They just lost for a decade.
Yes, they did.
So that's sort of how that stuff gets factored in. What I think about Jordan Love, and I think the case can continue to grow stronger, is winning those games like you mentioned on Thanksgiving, winning against a Ravens team, which will probably be a primetime game that gets flexed.
That's assuming they're back in it, which I think we all agree they very well could.
Yeah, they are.
AFC
They are
North.
the betting favorite to win that division.
Are they really?
Yes.
And they are what, 2-5?
Yes.
It's because they removed all the games from their locker room. If every team did that.
There was a report that came out, I think via Front Office Sports, that they removed the ping pong tables, the cornhole boards, and something else.
I believe I saw it was Lamar Jackson's decision too.
Real quick, I'm going to get to the betting odds on MVP in a moment, but I how do we know that helps?
It doesn't. It's a performative act to prove a point.
Right, but don't we want vibes to be good in the locker room? And don't we?
Depends on the team.
Yeah.
Like the Blue Jays, there's a story that came out after they lost one of their pivotal games that the guys were just playing cards like 15 minutes after the game ends, and a lot of the players in the locker room said that that's what helped them move on and clear their mind for the next game.
That's what I'm saying.
It just depends on the team, I guess.
Don't you think Mark Andrews and Derrick Henry playing a good game of Pong could help them out?
I don't think it's the same for everyone, and what I would envision is the people who were playing them too much are the people that needed to focus more.
You also got to realize those are two opposite ends of the spectrum, where the Blue Jays are already in the championship series at the time of that story, and the Ravens were 1-5.
You know what's phenomenal is we have a ping pong table at our office here.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it.
Well, the last person who did is no longer with the company.
Oh, similar situation where he was a little distracted.
Yes.
He or she, I guess. I wasn't here yet, I assume. Because I've been employed here, over a year and a half now?
It's really loud. It's really echoey.
I've played once. The balls don't bounce very well. Yeah.
It's more for fashion than it is for game.
I used to be good at ping pong. I don't got it anymore.
I've gotten much worse. We used to play in high school every single day after school.
Yeah,
and we would have
me too.
6-guy tournaments.
Yeah.
And now I picked up a ping pong, and I was like, wow, my hand-eye is not what it used to be.
Not what it once was, yeah. Well, there's probably a few reasons for that.
I haven't helped it, and certainly lack of repetition and picking up a ping pong paddle every other year is certainly a reason why. I'm sure if I played more, I'd get back into it. It's just.
Do you think like playing Guitar Hero could help that? Because that was a good hand-eye coordination game, wasn't it?
I think anything that would be visual, like rapid, and then having to react will be good.
That's a video game that should be brought back.
I don't think it went anywhere for a lot of people.
I've played Rock Band very recently.
Do you have a drum set?
One of my friends from high school, he has a drum set and like 3 guitars, and we just jam out.
Dude, get him up
It's
there.
awesome.
Hang on. Strouf, you got way too excited about the idea of having the drum set for Rock
It's so
Band.
fun.
I can tell you why. So in college, I lived with 4 dudes in a house in Stevens Point. So as you can imagine, post bars,
Yes. Jam
we
sessions.
would wake up our roommates who didn't come out with us with jam sessions. I would sing and play the guitar because I'm show off and douchey like that. But we had a drum set, we had 2 guitars, we had a mic. We would go ham.
It's pretty
on
try
Rock
hard
Band.
to sing on that game.
Yeah, but
I've never seen anybody sing.
But you. Oh no, come on. Yes, you.
Most
have.
people don't
No.
sing.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
no.
the point? You're a band.
Well, when you put like Freebird on expert mode and you're just trying to beat it
Yeah.
the whole time without getting booed off the stage,
True.
it's the fun of it.
Got to hit that solo.
Gotta hit that solo. Free bird, yeah. That wouldn't
See,
help.
that wouldn't make
help
me
you
wanna
lock
play.
in.
That would
okay.
I'd play one time.
Okay.
Yeah, having to hear you sing that as you continue to grind through.
I'm just looking forward to when our NFL picks for the regular season commence, and somebody winds up at Will's apartment for the weekend. We all play Rock Band at 2 a.m. at Will's apartment. I look forward to that.
I guess I'm in because I don't have a choice.
Well, you do have a choice. It's your apartment.
Or Will loses, and we get stories from Costco.
That is my nightmare.
We're way off of talking about Jordan Love and the MVP.
Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to run through these both for the 80% and our 20%. Okay, is that okay with you, Joshie?
Yeah.
So I'm going to run through first for the 80%. Patrick Mahomes is the front runner for MVP at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest at Potawatomi Sportsbook here in Milwaukee. It's the best.
With Patrick Mahomes, if they continue on the run, I think they're going to be.
He'll be minus odds by mid-November.
Yeah, he's going to quickly. They've got some big games coming up and games that are going to like make big moves if he wins them. If he plays well and they win those games, you could probably kiss it goodbye in like the next 4 weeks.
Don't they have like the Bills this week?
Yeah.
Mahomes plus 140, so pretty good odds.
Thin odds.
Josh Allen right behind him at plus 350. Drake May not far behind him at plus 450. And then we jump into the 4-digiters. Matthew Stafford plus 1,200. Baker Mayfield plus 1,400. And Jordan Love plus 1,500. Those are your top 6 in odds.
What's Aaron Rodgers at?
I mean,
Because I have a stat.
Are they even taking?
plus 15,000.
So I
Wow.
think his odds significantly dropped over the past couple days. I read this. It was like plus 25,000. But then they signed
2,500 or 25,000?
25,000.
Okay.
They signed MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. His quarterback has won MVP and or Super Bowl MVP in each of his last 5 seasons.
Well, it's
For a journeyman, that's kind of impressive.
it's a sad affair that that streak is going to come.
Was
to an
he? Was he in?
It was
He was
Josh
in
Allen.
Buffalo. He was in Baltimore.
Josh Allen MVP in 2024, Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl
Oh,
MVP in
Kansas City.
23, Super Bowl MVP 22, and then Rodgers 21 and 20 regular season MVP.
Wow, that's a fascinating stat.
It
I hadn't
is.
heard that yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's interesting. Well, for what it's worth, Jackson Smith and Jigba has better odds than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So, not great. So for our 20%, real quick, the plus means you make more money than you put down. So plus 140 for Mahomes, for example, you put $100 down, you would win 140 on top of that 100. So there you go. Those are your MVP odds, which means, I mean, look, Jordan Love is certainly in the conversation. Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Jonathan Taylor are all plus 1,800, so a little bit behind Love. But Love at plus 1,500 is alone in 6th place behind Mayfield, Stafford, May, Allen, and Mahomes in that order. So encouraging sign halfway through the season that Love is very much still in the conversation. The only issue with the conversation is Patrick Mahomes is likely going to end the conversation.
Yes. I still think it's valuable and meaningful to be at the awards or to be considered as a finalist for the award. And I do think there is an outcome where the Chiefs struggle, Mahomes gets hurt, Jordan Love plays out of his mind, that it will be more of a conversation because, as I said at the beginning, like A Josh Jacobs injury, of course, they would use Emmanuel Wilson, but they wouldn't use Emmanuel Wilson the same way they do Josh Jacobs. They would probably trust the passing game a little more in the red zone and in close. So there are a lot of factors here, and as much as it looks like plus 140, seems like a foregone conclusion at this point, there is still a ton of season left. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to get worse.
No, but in theory, like Josh Allen could outduel Patrick Mahomes on Sunday, and the Bills beat the Chiefs. Then all of a sudden, that shakes up the odds a little bit. Yes. And as I mentioned, Allen's in second place, so it wouldn't help Love by any means. But anyway,
sorry, I had one more thing. Rex Ryan the other day, when they were having the MVP conversation on Get Up, he said at the end of the day he doesn't trust Jordan Love, and he thinks that in the biggest moments he'll turn it over. But with the way, ever since that 4th and 2 in Arizona, and the way he's kind of just been going wild, and if they continue that, I think that's the biggest thing going into this week, especially regarding the MVP conversation, is carrying over that second half into the first half for the first time this year against Carolina. If he can just get out and start going gunslinger, buck wild early, I don't think he's ever going to be put in that position where A, he doesn't have the faith in himself to not turn the ball over in the big moment, and B, not even be in that moment to begin with.
Well said. Quick side note. How old were you in 2010?
2010, I was... So if the Super Bowl was in January, I was 8.
I'm not asking about the Super Bowl.
8.
Okay.
Or when the clock struck midnight.
I'm asking about Rex Ryan, because he was at that...
I remember him as the head coach of the Jets.
You do remember him,
and
okay.
I've rewatched the Hard Knocks clips of him as the Jets head coach.
Okay, Hard Knocks clips. Have you looked up anything else on YouTube about Rex Ryan from about 2010?
No.
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Do you know
the shake weight?
Do you know what he had on his desk in that Hard Knocks that brought a lot of attention to him?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you.
The shake weight. Is that it?
Nope.
No, I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. I guess I'll just blatantly ask this then. Do you know what Rex Ryan's favorite body part is?
I've heard this before. I've heard the backstory behind this, but I can't quite tell you.
Okay, Rex Ryan allegedly, and we don't fetish shame here. We're anti-fetish shaming. Rex Ryan has a foot fetish.
Yeah, I've heard this.
I believe it, and it's not just a rumor. I believe he has a picture of his wife's feet that he kept on his desk.
Yeah, he does.
He for a while did he endorsed Gold Bond or something that had to do with feet. He leaned into it.
Wow. I love how Jonathan 2372 ESPN Madison on YouTube just chimes in foot. Yeah, I did ask what his favorite body part was. Well, for Packers fans that maybe don't love the Jordan Love odds for MVP, take a look at the Defensive Player of the Year odds. Micah Parsons is the front runner at plus 150. So $100 would bring you 150 on top of that. Not bad. Not bad. Myles Garrett behind him plus 275. Aiden Hutchinson plus 400. So that very much still a race, the Defensive Player of the Year. But Micah Parsons still the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think of those guys, whatever team ends up winning their division and has the highest seed will probably be the guy that. Yeah, unless one of them has an insane sack number.
Garrett obviously had the 5-sack game and a loss this weekend, which is just unheard of, by the way.
Yes, very much.
The 5-sack game more so than the loss.
I think they'd still be sort of reticent to give it to somebody who, even though he was individually so great, they're going to say, well, he didn't elevate his defense around him enough to keep the Browns more in games.
Yeah.
Where I think there's more context probably needed than they'll afford him. It's just, if your team wins, you're more likely to win an award. It's that simple.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you on that. All right, real quick, let's get to this, which we will talk about a little bit more on Monday. Maybe we'll have some more clarity coming off of Week 9 in the NFL. But the trade deadline is 6 days from today. The NFL trade deadline is next Tuesday. Do we anticipate, I'm going to ask this a few different ways, Joshy. Do you anticipate the Packers to trade for an asset that would make an impact? So bring in somebody that would make an impact on Tuesday.
No.
Or by Tuesday. Right?
No, I do not.
I don't either. Do you think they could trade out something that could be an asset for another team in trading for a draft pick?
I find that extremely unlikely.
Not even a kicker?
Sure.
Get a 7th round pick for Haversick?
I guess you could figure that in. I still think that's quite unlikely.
So you think Romeo Doubs is here to stay, which I do,
Yes.
at least through the end of the season. Was the leader again in snap counts for wide receivers. I think he played 53 of the 61 offensive snaps on Sunday. A name that's been floated around a lot and has reportedly gotten several calls is Kingsley Enagbare, the defensive end.
I think he's just been simply too good.
To get rid of him?
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay. And I can't really think of any other names that come to mind that could be shipped out in terms of depth pieces.
Yeah, no. I think the Packers aren't done adding to the roster.
I don't either.
I think there
I
could
agree with you on
be a
this.
practice squad guy or somebody who is waived that is brought in. I think especially along the defensive line at defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle and corner.
And then I think, corner, like a depth piece. I don't think they are going to give up more assets. I think they should if the opportunity arises, but a lot of times you aren't able to pull off trades because teams aren't willing to give fair prices.
Matthew's chiming in on this, and I just wanted to bring it up. He says sign Asante Samuel if he's healthy for cheap. That's a name I've seen floated on the Twitter sphere. You never know how legitimate some of that news is, but it sounds like he's not healthy to sign yet.
Yeah. I mean, he's not even like doing workouts.
Right. But that's a name who's still out there who hopefully could provide you some snaps and some depth at corner, which seems like you need. So
I think the depth at corner would be extra important because it feels like the past 2 games it's just been one guy getting absolutely picked on, and it's due to the fact that they have 3 guys.
Dude,
that
Nate
really
Hobbs
play a lot.
played 4 snaps on Sunday. I'm still upset about that. I did not know that until we did the show on Monday.
And when you're the Steelers coming in and you know that Nate Hobbs probably isn't going to be seeing the field, you have, one of 2 guys that you can pick on, and that was Keyshawn Nixon on Sunday night.
Yeah, and it was not his brightest moment, but
Here's
I have confidence he'll bounce back.
Here's the thing, though. They're not going to bring in a guy who's going to start over any of them.
No, but it's just
No.
another guy to give a look.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers are comfortable with the way they play their corners. They want the 2 that are going to be the main guys on the field the most, and Javon Bullard in the slot. The only way any of that changes is injury related, and then another benching to Nate Hobbs, likely.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the situation they're in.
Yeah, like to answer your question, it's not a guy that's going to make an immediate impact. It's a guy that's collectively going to help them make an impact.
I don't even think that's the case. I think if anything, they're worried about we have Bo Melton next up.
Yeah.
I think what they got is what they're going to run with.
Let's hope that's not the case.
And they're not like a rotational at
How
corner.
about Bo Melton, by the way, getting another run at wide receiver, 1 snap this past week?
I mean, interesting.
I kind of love it for 1 snap. I don't mind it. If it becomes a problem where it's 10 snaps,
I can't really make sense of what is happening through the course of a game that we need Bo Melton to take 1 singular offensive snap.
I got nothing. I got nothing for you. All right. Let's get to One Word Wednesday. Each and every Wednesday, Hunter has a list of topics that maybe we aren't going to spend a full segment on, but we should comment on in some regard. Myself, Josh, and Will, when he wants to. Sometimes he skips. We'll say 1 word in response to the list of topics that Hunter has, and even sometimes Hunter chimes in with 1 word. We'll all find out together in this week's edition of One Word Wednesday.
This week, we are centering the entire segment around Jim Polzine's column in the Wisconsin State Journal, where he talked to one of the Badgers' largest, if not the largest, donor to the athletic department in the university, Ted Kellner.
This is a heck of a read.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a number of quotes that I'll have you guys reacting to from this. So in the article, Jim wrote that Kellner sounded more positive than he did when they last spoke about 11 months ago. And Kellner said, I think Chris McIntosh is a very good athletic director.
My word is blind. Blind hope. Blind faith. Blind.
Friends.
Misinformed.
Yeah, they did also say in that Ted Kellner is close to Chris McIntosh.
Of course he is.
Yes.
You sure have to be.
Continuing, again, this from the State Journal article. If people are wondering or joining late, hear what these quotes are from. When talking about the school hiring Fickle over Jim Leonard, Kellner said, the talking heads and pundits felt that was a coup.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those, though.
Will, do you know what a coup is?
We'll save it for what we missed.
Crazy person.
Write it down, pal. How would you spell coup?
Hint, it's French.
Well,
COUPE.
close.
No, I don't think there's an E at the end.
There is not.
There's not. No, but it was close. Revisionist.
No, I think that's accurate. I think what he's explaining is that everybody lauded the hiring,
Sure.
which I think is accurate. I still think that given what they had and the options, Luke Fickell seemed like the best one. And
Agreed.
I don't think that has any relevance, though, to what's happening now.
Yep. Totally agree with you.
Hindsight. That's my word.
Good word.
Our third quote from this article with Ted Kellner saying, I think Luke's a good coach. I'm not the guy, nor is anybody else. Whether it's a fan or media member, I don't think that we're qualified to make decisions on that.
Honestly, I'm going to say fair here. My word's going to be fair. I think that's a fair assessment. I don't necessarily think Luke Fickell is a bad football coach. I just don't think it's working.
I don't even know what to say to this. It's more of like I have an actual opinion on it than just one.
I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead.
I think it's a good thing that Ted Kellner isn't using his influence and his money to push guys out like we've seen happen at other major programs. I think that is good. But I also do think there comes a breaking point, if you know what I'm saying. Like, at some point, it'll be worth it to throw your money around and to say, hey, the money turns off if we keep doing this.
So your word is influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, what... It's much better, and the way the Packers are run, we can all say is probably better in a lot of senses, because there's not one person with outsized influence or power making decisions on whims. I don't think Ted Kellner has ever shown that, but I do respect him going, like, I don't know if this is my spot to say, hey, fire the guy.
Yeah, I think it's... My word was cop out. I don't know if that's one word, but just...
it's a hyphen.
Yeah, we'll count it. Executive decision, but it's just like him saying basically, you know, I can't say if Luke Fickell's a bad coach because I don't know too much, and neither do all these media members who never played football before.
Yeah, it sounds pretty Barry-esque, similar to something Barry Alvarez said a couple weeks ago. If you've never coached or played, you don't know what the hell
it was
you're
just a
talking
way
about.
out of the question.
Yeah, but again, I do think it's fair to say, and Hunter, I'd be curious to get your thoughts on that one before we move on to the next one. Like, I do think Luke Fickell has proven over the course of his track record he is a good football coach. I don't know if he's a great head coach at a power conference school, but I think he is a good football coach at his core. Now, when you are the head football coach of a major university managing the transfer portal, the NIL, etc., you're a lot more than a football coach now, right? You're not just coaching ball anymore. And I think that's why you see guys like Jeff Hafley leave the college scene, move to the NFL, because you can actually be a ball coach there. So at the core of that statement, I guess I agree with Ted Kellner.
My problem, though, is with him saying that, like, I think we are qualified to say that when the results have been so bad. And then also, like, you start looking at Luke Fickell's time and you say, okay, he was the interim at Ohio State. That Ohio State team that even though a bunch of guys were suspended or kicked off the team because of all the tattoo stuff, they still had a ton of talent and they were not a good team. But there's a lot of drama, so whatever. So we could give him a pass. He goes to Cincinnati. Yes, he gets them into the playoff, but his defensive coordinator is now the head coach at Notre Dame who's playing for national titles. So, was he carried by his coordinator? He comes to Wisconsin, makes a bad coordinator hire, has a bad time now at Wisconsin. There's a certain point where everything starts to point towards maybe it isn't, maybe he just isn't that guy.
Right. So maybe the argument is he's not a good head coach, but he's a good football coach.
Yeah. I've got two more quotes. They did talk about some NIL, and Ted said, it'll change a lot next year, I think. The portal will change next year. I think the playing field for us financially, those two things will change dramatically.
Wishful.
was going to say hopeful.
Yeah, hopeful. Josh stole my word.
I mean, he is the guy that can kind of change that if he is like, I'm going to give a lot more to NIL this next year.
So, two parts to that. Yes, obviously he does have an influence on that. But second part is still need to recruit the guys, still need to get the right guys, and the right guys need to translate to winning. That's what needs to change.
Yep.
So it's more than, hey, we've thrown $20 million more at the program or at the problem or whatever the dollar amount is. I'm just making up a number. It's deeper and it's more than that. So we'll see. It's hopeful. It's wishful thinking, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right, last one.
Yep. Final quote from Ted Kellner in Jim Polzine's column in the Wisconsin State Journal. We're going through speed bumps, but I think we'll come out on the other side in a fashion we'll all be proud of.
My word's cliff. This isn't a speed bump. This is a cliff.
Well done.
We
I was
are
going
not
to
going
take.
over speed bumps.
I was
This
going to
is
take the
a
same
massive
Crevasse.
cliff with a 130-foot drop.
I was going to take the same angle as you. I don't know if I would have gone a cliff. I was probably going to
Is that
go
too
like
gory?
No, you're okay. You weren't talking about the death. You know, like it's not the death of the program. It's just the demise. Right. This feels more like a big ass pothole than it does a speed bump.
It's like the road's closed.
I was going to say good luck.
It's a massive detour.
Yeah, I was going to say this is kind of feeling like if we're going to keep on this ride with Luke Fickell, we're Thelma and Louising this towards the Grand Canyon. Yeah. Like, we got to jump out now if we want to jump out and fix this thing.
All right. There you go. That's one word Wednesday.
Will, is there anything that means less to you than Thelma and Louise?
No. I just thought of the...
I thought you said Velma and I was thinking Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
You guys, I thought of the Tommy Boy. I don't know if you guys remember this part where he's describing the brake pads of the car, and he says the car went Velma and Louise off the cliff because it didn't have the right brake pads.
I would like to point out that I think that reference hits well with our fans and probably the age range of our fans.
Just not the host.
Yes.
Correct.
Who doesn't watch movies.
Correct. Bingo. Did you know? Wait, I guess I didn't realize this. That Daphne is married to Freddie Prinze Jr.
Josh, rephrase that question if anything means less to me, and use that.
From Scooby-Doo.
And you're talking about the live action actors.
From 2002, yeah.
By the way, written and directed by James Gunn, the guy that did the Superman movie.
Oh, wow. The guy who played Fred and the girl who played Daphne are married in real life.
When most people think about Scooby-Doo, they don't think of the live action movie. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, of course not. They think of the animated film, but I'm
not
animated
the
television
animated
show.
television show is what I meant, not film. You know what I meant. All right.
Did we though?
That's enough Scooby-Doo talk for today.
Yeah.
Unless anybody's got some Scooby snacks to throw at me because those are damn good. That's enough Scooby-Doo talk. I did want to talk a little Bucks, but I saw something that I actually want to get to way more, and I want to get to some of Will's words. So we're just going to skip Bucks 3-1. Hot start for the first time in the last 3 years. Important to get rid of all the Giannis narratives, and beating the Knicks also important in that. That's my Bucks comment for the day. We'll talk more Bucks at another date. All right, let's get to what we missed, what we learned. That is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County in Carlsville. They've got terrific whiskeys. I've been informed, by the way, the Bat Bleat Bourbon, the Cherry Bourbon, both available statewide now. I thought the Cherry Bourbon was a Door County Distillery exclusive. I have been corrected. That's available all over the state. So good for those of you Cherry fans. That Cherry Bourbon is very good. It's available all over the state now.
Thank you for correcting your fake news.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Well, this also means I'm going to be making a stop at the liquor store.
Yep.
Love that cherry bourbon.
That cherry bourbon's really good, so it's distributed all over the state now, which is great news. Obviously, the normal bourbon is my go-to, just the Door County Distillery bourbon, the classic bourbon. It is amazing. I've got a bottle right now. It's my favorite, but they've got a bunch of options. They do it the best at Door County Distillery. They've also got a wide array of product as well. If whiskey's not necessarily your thing, they've got gins. They've got the Rock Island rum. They've got a bunch of different vodkas, including a cherry vodka available statewide. All sorts of stuff to elevate your cocktail game, your party, your tailgate, whatever you got going on. So check out their website, doorcountydistillery.com. They're local, they're affordable, they're award-winning. Support local business, support Door County Distillery, doorcountydistillery.com. All right, so I've been working on this bit for a while that I was going to do on KBN. Not a bit necessarily. Bit's probably the wrong word. I've been working on a segment I was going to do in the month of November where I'm going to crown all these end of year things, right? Like
Oh, you're gonna steal one of my words.
Strouf Person of the Year.
Creative.
But the big one that I think I thought I had figured out, and I wasn't ready to come out with it yet. Because I didn't think anybody would be announcing blank of the year yet, was word of the year. This was the inspiration for the whole thing because I thought I had word of the year figured out. Well, while we've been on the air, dictionary.com has announced their word of the year. Josh, have you seen this yet, A?
No.
Okay, do you have a guess as to what the word of the year is for dictionary.com?
Usually these are words that aren't really words. Sometimes they'll even figure in phrases. A lot of times it'll be something from a meme.
Oh, I think you're on the right track.
Is it going
here.
to be 6-7?
It is going to be 6-7. 6-7 is dictionary.com's word of the year. Now, I thought, isn't that so annoying? That's really well done by you.
What was it last year? Aura?
Oh, wait. Okay, so that's the word I was going to use this year.
Josh.
I thought aura
Thank
was
you,
going to be the
Adam.
word of the year this year.
Aura is so 2024.
Is
Yeah.
it?
You're so outdated, bro.
Yeah.
But I thought aura because like they're saying on national television broadcast of football games that kids have aura now or quarterbacks have aura now.
Well, yeah.
I thought
when
aura,
the broadcast get it, that's when it's old.
Yeah, sure, but it's also only October, and I thought that was such a this year word. So I was really upset that 6-7 was the word of the year,
Which is not a word.
and it's not a word; it's two words.
It's also
numbers.
It's recency bias because I feel like Aura was hitting its stride in like March, but it might have had a better run. I don't know if it had a better run than 6-7 actually in the meme world.
Let's take a look.
Are you looking up the definition? Because I got it. I was going to use this as
No,
one of my
I'm looking up
words.
their word of the year. No, demure was their word of the year last year. Everybody
Okay.
remembers so
Very
cutesy, very
demure.
demure. Hallucinate was 2023. In 2022, the word of the year was woman for dictionary.com. So they typically haven't gone super memey.
Shout out
Demure
woman.
obviously is. Shout out. Woman singular.
Shout out that woman.
Agreed. So 6-7, the word of the year. Merriam-Webster's word of the year last year was polarization.
Wait, what'd you call it?
Merriam-Webster?
That's not what you said the first time.
I might have
said
slipped up.
Miriam.
And then 2024's Oxford Dictionary word of the year, 2 words, was brain rot. The year prior was Riz, so they are likely going to go 6-7 as well. If I was,
Surprised Riz didn't go back to back.
I mean, they've had vape and selfie and laughing emoji and toxic.
Selfie.
So the Oxford Dictionary is one to keep an eye on as well for some memey things. So anyway, 6-7, your dictionary.com word of the year. That is ridiculous and dumb and also kind of hilarious. All right, well, go ahead.
All right, first word we got is oscillate or oscillating. It means to move or swing back and forth at a regular speed. And my word is Jordan Love's accuracy has not been an oscillating argument in the past couple weeks.
Oscillating argument.
Yeah, it hasn't been swinging back and forth. It's been one
But isn't
sided.
oscillate isn't oscillate more of a verb?
It would have been much better to just say, I turned the fan on oscillate to
But that's
get
boring.
the entire room.
It's too easy.
Or even if you went
That's
to Jordan
low-hanging-
Love, you could have just gone, in the past, Jordan Love's accuracy has oscillated from good to bad, but it
That's-
isn't doing it anymore.
More or less what I said.
Except you dropped in
More
the
or less. Oh,
argument.
you know what? More or less.
More or less.
Just like
Your Hunter's going for small potatoes here.
Yeah,
So
nice.
With that sentence.
just like our guy Ryan Porter on Friday. Very good.
Second word is coup, which can refer to a sudden
No, you're already wrong.
No.
Cool. There you go.
coup. Can refer to a sudden, often violent seizure of power, a successful strategic maneuver in business, or a type of brain injury. I didn't read that second half. I don't know. I never knew that. But my sentence for coup is landing Giannis in free agency would have been, hypothetically, an absolute coup for any small market franchise.
Okay. That is not where I expected you to go with that.
I was just trying to think of something that would be an absolute
You
seizure
should've
of
gone
power, and I
more-
thought we were.
I thought you were going to be more like.
I thought we were going to
when
talk
I-
about the Bucks.
When I shine on Mr. Irrelevant,
I absolutely coup the attention away from Alex Strouf.
No,
Hunter Airhorn.
we could perform a coup and take over Mr. Relevant and kick Alex Strouf out.
Until he watches Tommy Boy.
Why Tommy
Most
Boy?
coups aren't like unless you do this. It's like, hey, we're seizing power now.
So like I'm gonna do another movie reference here. What's the Tom Hanks movie with the pirates?
There's a lot of Tom Hanks movies, pal.
I'm the captain
Yeah.
now.
Oh, that's
Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips. So in Captain Phillips, the pirates cooed the ship.
Not quite. That's
They-
more of a hijacking.
Yeah. And by the way, you perform a coup.
Yeah.
So like really
You know-
it's usually talked about in a form of a government. You're overthrowing you're
Yes.
taking over the government. Typically it's like a general or someone
and
takes
also,
over.
I don't think the past tense of performing a coup is cooed. Is it? Like,
No, I think coup is
I think
also past and present tense.
Coup. Yeah.
I love that we're becoming a vocabulary show. Will, I appreciate your vulnerability. Do you have any other words?
No, shout out 6'7", shout out that one woman, that one word of the year a couple years ago.
Shout out, indeed. And shout out to you for hanging out with
Does
us
that
on
have
this
to do?
Wednesday.
I just put it together. Was that put it with because of the election and the vice president? Is that why?
Well, that was in 22, so
Huh.
I don't know why.
I'm because I could understand
Which dictionary is this?
women being like a political
Oh.
statement, like they made a lot of difference in a year. But for it to be singular is confusing to me.
I'm on Wikipedia. So when I went over the word woman,
Yes.
it just says a woman is an adult female human.
Yes. Correct.
So it doesn't really give me context on that one. So
Shout out.
shout out, though. Shout out
Who
to,
put this poll
to
on
adult
there?
female humans. What poll?
Do you get smarter or dumber watching the show?
I did not.
Hunter, was that you?
No, it's on the Milwaukee one. So, wasn't me.
80% of people say smarter, though. So we're off to a good start. All right. Dr. Denver Dan says, way dumber. Matthew says, Will, we are proud of your growth in vocabulary as of late.
Thank you. I'm also proud of it.
As you should be. All right, that will do it for us today. We're back with you Friday beginning at 12:30 Central, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube. We'll look ahead to Packers-Panthers coming up at Lambeau Field on Sunday, as well as everything else going on. Maybe we'll talk about the FBI. Who knows? Josh, you okay?
I was about to sneeze.
Okay, bless you. We'll talk to you on Friday. Peace.